Welcome to Palworld, a creature capture game similar to Pokemon, but with guns. In this game, you can capture, build, and even slaughter your enemies. I have 100 days to beat Palworld with just 3 lives and take the heads of every faction leader in the game. The rules of this challenge are simple. Firstly, to complete Palworld and beat all faction leaders within 100 days. Do not die more than 3 times or the challenge is over. I also have a list of what I want to accomplish during these 100 days, so if you want to read over them, then feel free. Okay, baby, let's get into it. Starting off, we woke up with a weird-ass sheep, cat, and chicken staring into our soul, and a hidden message saying the towers are the key, the tree holds the truth. Whatever that means. Spawning in with a devil-like chicken looking at me, we came out of the ruins and uncovered a beautiful-looking island. We pressed E on this weird-looking totem and talked to a sexy, hot, romantic-looking gentleman. She gave me some wood. We gathered stone, wood, and even random berries on the floor, and progressed to level 2. After gathering materials, we crafted our first primitive workbench. Within our workbench, we were given the option to make a stone pickaxe. So we did, and mined some sweet rocks, and even leveled up to level 3. We then made a stone axe, and put our levels into health. You know, considering we only have 3 lives and all. After leveling up, we found something in our inventory called a technology tree. Although I won't be showing this much in our 100 days, if you've ever played Ark, it's the same as an engram tree. So, we unlocked just about everything, and finally, we made a club along with one singular Palsphere. This was similar to a Pokeball in Pokemon and would allow us to catch our first Palmon. Like any other normal human being, we beat the absolute shit out of a sheep and threw our balls into its face. And according to this game, we did it absolutely flawlessly because now we had a lamb ball. And it was worth it because, come on, look at this little guy. He's cute. And not only that, but look, he is literally crafting for us. After catching our first slave, we proceeded to commit deforestation and de-rock station, if that's even a thing. And so far, I must admit, this first day was going pretty well. While wandering around, we heard a shimmer-like noise. So, we followed it, hoping it was a way out of this island. But, in fact, it was this huge cat. Bazonka's big. And it was glowing. I didn't want to fuck with no big-ass cat. So like any other normal guy, we fled. After going downhill, we came across some glowy blue rocks and chipped away at them. This gave us Paldium fragments, which was used to make Palspheres. We then found a crimson chest that needed a key and found a journal to which someone had wrote. Although journals are cool and stuff, I wasn't really here to unlock the lore of this game. I'm here to fuck up some pals, make them my slaves, and give those towers the spanking they deserve. So, we left. Anyway, going down the stream, we came across this beautiful looking waterfall. On the way to the waterfall, we came across this behemoth, a Mammarist. And I vowed on that day that one day we could put him in our balls. The sun was setting, so we placed down our first pal box. This was the foundation of the base and is used to store our pals. And finally, towards the end of the day, we built a wooden shack, placed down a bed, Minecraft style, and went to sleep, hoping that this was just all some weird dream. On day 2, we woke up and surprisingly, it wasn't a dream. So we came out of our wooden shack, said hi to Lamball, and found a really cool pal that looked like a plant. Starting the day off, we proceeded to mine some blue rocks, place down a primitive workbench, and make some Palspheres. But suddenly, we saw a human crossing our bridge. It was a wandering merchant. We sold him some berries, and in return, bought his arrows. It was a good trade-off. We then chopped down a tree and made a bow to go with our new arrows. With all our pal balls and arrows, we decided to catch another lamb ball. And we did. In this game, if you catch 10 of the same pal, you get a huge amount of XP. So that was the plan. And we also killed the witness for fun. We used the wool of the dead sheep to make cloth and turned it into armor. We looked sick. Moving on, we mined stone and wood and created a storage box. Making this allowed us to advance to base level 2. And we had already made both of the next level. So we moved up to level 3. And if you level up your power box, you increase the number of pals that can work at the base. And also the amount of bases you can have. So it was essential we leveled this up. We then made a primitive spear along with a campfire, mined more trees, and made something called a feed box. This allowed our pals to automatically be fed at the base. Towards the end of day 2, we made a bed for our pals to sleep in. And with the full moon being out, we decided to sleep as well. It was day 3 and we woke up. So we immediately went out. We walked past Plant Man and tamed some sheep. They couldn't escape the Epicinator. It wasn't possible. And we even found a purple chest with a megasphere in it. This was our lucky day. We then went back to base, made a repair bench, and repaired our tools in there. And we then decided to make a ranch. This ranch would give us wool when we assigned our Lambos in it. This was a good day. Later on, we made more pal beds to level up our base. And at this point, we were hooked on making our base stronger and stronger. So we did the next challenge, which was to make a berry plantation. We then discovered our Lambos have already gave us wool. Loads of it. So we made some cloth and crafted a parachute. We could now float, floating down the hill like a cloud. We went out and searched for some prey. We came across the devil chickens and sniped them like a G. These creatures were from the spawn of hell. So we caught one and killed its friend. We also found a cute looking penguin. This little guy was level 6. So we shot him a few times, threw our balls at him, and caught our first pal that actually looks somewhat strong. It was getting dark, so we went back to base and... oh my. That is a lot of wool. Our Lambos literally shat out wool like it's nothing. On day 4, we woke up and made something called a statue of power. This was essentially used to make our pals stronger. But we needed some sort of soul to do so. We saw a pink cat at the border of our base and caught it. But all of a sudden, war music arose and enemies were coming in. At this moment, we were in big trouble. We only had 3 lives on this challenge and a penguin to defend us. 3 lizards came in and attacked our base. We threw a pal ball at one, shot the others, and threw a pal ball at another. We caught 2, killed 1, and lived to die another day. We were safe. The lizards we caught would now pay their debt by being forced to work for all eternity. Knowing our new lizard friends weren't going anywhere, we made pal beds for them. We gathered paldium fragments, wood, crafted some cloth, and made a pal gear workbench. This was used to make saddles for our pal friends. With our new pal workbench, we could officially level up to base level 6. So we did. Finishing day off 4, we made a logging site and a stone pit. This would enable our pals to mine wood and stone. On day 5, we went downhill once more and came across a fiery looking fox. We shot it and he returned fire. Feeling lucky, we lobbed a ball from a mile away and somehow actually hit the fox box, capturing it. We also decided to catch more Lambos in the process for more XP. We now officially have caught 10 out of 10 Lambos and completed Lamball. We traveled around and found a tree looking like Pal, so we fucked him up and caught him. We even leveled up. We then went further downhill and found a huge flying bird, as well as a teleport point. I wanted that bird so bad, but we only had 3 lives, so we decided against it. Instead, we killed some fox barks for flame organs and turned those flame organs into a fox bark saddle. After finishing our expedition, we saw a huge mammoth. This was called the King of the Forest. Rightly so. We went back to base and made the foxbark saddle with our little penguin friend. We could now shoot flames out of foxbarks. And I'll be honest, this was by far the strongest weapon we had in our arsenal. We spent the rest of day 5 making a crusher. This allowed us to convert stone into paldium fragments and wood into fiber. On day 6, we took foxbarks out on a walk and saw some purple deer. They looked cool. We ventured further into the forest and found one of the 5 towers. This was absolutely massive. We also came across a small power soul along with a giant hole in the earth. A dungeon. We did not want to attempt this yet. Gunshots were heard from afar. It was Syndicate's thugs and a Nightwing. We picked up Foxbox and set Nightwing ablaze. And in the process, we almost died. So we retreated back to cover. We shot the Syndicate Thug and were safe. We cleared out the rest of the thugs, aka one, and rescued a pangolin that had been incapacitated. It was getting dark, so we teleported back to base, watched Gumos spit out seeds sexily, and went to sleep. It was day 7, and we've officially been on this island for a week. Honestly, I'm actually surprised we haven't died at this point. Anyway, starting off, we made Foxbox stronger with the power soul we found yesterday and set up sandbags to defend our base. We put Lamball in charge. We then found a deer that was attacking a penguin and realized it would look good in my balls. So we let them fight it out and caught it. We added the deer onto our team, picked him up balls first, and put him into labor. We now had a wood chopper. This was perfect. Feeling adventurous, we went out further than we ever have before and found a tansy along with a teeth ant. So we caught them both. And while exploring, we came across a boss called Chillit. Being only level 11, we picked up the Foxbox and set it ablaze. We did insane damage and got it one shot. And after a few throws, we fucking caught it. We just caught our first ever boss. After catching the huge blue ferret, we headed back to base and decided to jump off a cliff to get to the other side. And due to my absolute stupidity, we fell into the water and yes, we started drowning and we died. Now, I'm going to be honest, I thought maybe our first death would be something more ferocious, like a bear or some sort of dragon, but no! Our first death was from drowning in a game that wasn't even focused on water. Oh my god. I can't even. On the bright side, we had a big blue ferret thing. Was it worth it? Probably not. After losing all of our gear on day 7, we started to remake it. But suddenly, a raid started. This was bad. We had nothing but our pals to defend with. The first wave was wolves, so we fled back and punched the shit out of one. The next was lizards, and luckily our pals managed to handle it. We were extremely lucky. Wasting no time, we recreated our tools and moved the workbench for privacy reasons, because sometimes I like to make dirty items, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we finished creating our armor and bow, along with arrows and a parachute. After realizing how hard it would be to beat this game, we took it one step further and made a 3-shot bow. This was sick. It literally shoots 3 arrows at once. And finally, a feathered headband along with a shield. We were now a lot stronger. It became nightfall, and we found a glowy looking pal called Daydream. So we caught it, and 2 more of them. And finally, we caught a Depresso. I know, depressing. The next day, we mined blue rocks, went back to the base, and equipped our new Daydreams. We then made Daydream's necklace. This allowed Daydream to be constantly out and attacking for us. So we literally had 3 Daydreams following us. It was really OP. Feeling confident, we went out and found an abandoned mine shaft. At the end of the tunnel, there was a strange man inside with some sort of torture chamber. He allowed us to buy and sell pals. Although, I'm not really sure what you'd do to them after we sold them. So, we sold our sheep. On day 10, we added chests to both the logging site and the stoning site for easier transportation of wood and stone. We then made 22 balls, or 11 smurfs, and took our daydreams out of the party. They were good, but it made catching pals a problem as they kept killing them. Finally, we made arrows and went out in search for some juicy pals to tame. We found some devil-like chickens and decided to catch 10 of them. And I'll be honest, we didn't really do this much for XP, but rather for our personal desires. And by the end of the run, we gained 2 extra levels. Damn! After a hard day's work, we spotted a Nightwing. Feeling lucky, we shot him, hoping to catch him. This stupid-ass cat will not leave me alone. Oh, God. Remembering we only had 2 lives left, we grabbed our trump card and turned him into cooked chicken, only just managing to lob my balls into his face. Yes! We got him! After capturing our first flyer, we spent the day catching more pals for XP, such as Foxbox, Gumos, and some sexy, sexy penguins. And we even came across a Vixie. These were pals that can literally dig up 3 Pokeballs when assigned to a ranch. So, we caught 3. By the end of the day, we found a village hidden in the leaves. And there wasn't really much here other than a trader. So we teleported back to base and got some shut-eye.